what's up everyone? GameDad here, coming at you guys with part 4, the final part of my PSP collection series. So we're going to dive in, we're going to see what games are left, and check out some gameplay. Need for Speed Most Wanted 510 was released by EA in 2005, and I gotta say, this game looks fantastic on the PSP. The graphics are great, the controls are great, and although I personally don't care for the Need for Speed franchise as a whole, I gotta say, it plays really well on this handheld, and I was really impressed with what they pulled off. Rocky Balboa was released by Ubisoft in 2007, and this game, while it has pretty good graphics for the device, it's just a regular kind of generic boxing game. It kind of reminds me of, like a more realistic type of Punch-Out game. You have your health meter, you got your power meters you can build up, your overall energy before you have to, kind of rest and back off your strikes for it to recharge. But overall, I mean, it really is just a basic boxing game, and there really isn't that many features to make it stand out amongst other games like this. Up next, we have Splinter Cell Essentials, released by Ubisoft in 2006. And this game, it plays a lot like other Splinter Cell games, meaning, you have all of your stealth aspect and you're going through and you want to make sure that nobody sees you, like a Metal Gear game, that overall kind of gameplay that you've come to expect from the Splinter Cell franchise. But I gotta say, this particular title, it's so dark. I don't know if it was a settings issue that I was having, but it took me a while of playing the game before I could even actually see the character. And to me, that kind of made it unplayable. So I gotta go back and check the brightness settings. Now here we have Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron, released by LucasArts in 2007, and I gotta say, this whole just era of Star Wars games was just a blast to play. The gameplay was solid, the graphics were great, even on a handheld. I mean, as you can see, the graphics just look great in this game, and overall, it was just a phenomenal gameplay experience. Unlike, more modern Battlefront games that rely on loot boxes to be able to make anything happen, these games are just a ton of fun to just take on the go and play. Star Wars Lethal Alliance was released by Ubisoft in 2006 and is another prime example of a great handheld Star Wars game. In this game, you're playing through an excellent story. It's not as full-fledged as you would expect like a regular console game to be, but it's still really solid, and I really enjoyed being able to play through it. I had a little difficulty right in the beginning trying to, get used to the controls and stuff like that, but overall, once I got used to them, it was really easy to navigate. It was easy to figure out what all the buttons did and what the controls were, and I was able to enjoy another fantastic Star Wars game. Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max was released by Capcom in 2006, and while this game plays like any typical Street Fighter that you would expect, all your different button mashing combos and different power-up kind of things, it has a pretty good roster, and it has kind of a strange, like, cartoony, anime-looking feel to it, as you can see in this gameplay footage. One thing that I really didn't care for about this game was it wasn't advertised anywhere on the game pack whenever I originally bought it, but you actually need a special size memory card to even get the thing to start. So that was kind of annoying, but overall, it's a pretty fun game. Syphon Filter Dark Mirror was released by SCEA in 2006, and this game, it's actually got some pretty good graphics for a handheld game, as you can see from some of the gameplay cinematic that is taking place right now, but overall, I mean, it was nothing really to write home about. I mean, it was just the typical Syphon Filter kind of game formula. You go through your missions, you just kind of play through a pretty basic game, and that's that. But, I mean, like I said, it actually had pretty decent graphics for what it was. Tokobot was released by Tecmo in 2005, and honestly, this game gives me a kind of like prequel kind of vibe to Astrobot Rescue Mission for the PSVR. And that's because you go around playing as kind of a main character who has all these little robots helping him out. Those are all the Tokobots. And you're just going on a like cool adventure and doing puzzle platforming and figuring out what to do in each mission. You go through and you face a few different bosses, stuff like that. And overall, you're just having like a cutesy fun time. It was a really fun game to play. Tomb Raider Anniversary was released by Eidos Interactive in 2007, and in this game you are going on the typical, Lara Croft adventure kind of thing that you have come to know and expect by all of the other Tomb Raider games. Now, this was kind of in the era of Tomb Raider games where you could tell they were kind of losing their way. It definitely wasn't like original team making it or anything like that. But overall, I mean, it's a pretty fun game. It controls like you would expect, and its overall gameplay is okay. It's not bad, but it's not great. Now, here we have the prequel to the last game, and that is Tomb Raider Legend, released by Eidos Interactive in 2006. And this game, I gotta say, even though it's on the PSP, I've seen some excellent graphics. This game just does not do it for me. I mean, I guess they were trying to go like kind of dark and edgy with it, but it doesn't look good. In my opinion, it's not that great of a game. You go on a typical adventure like you would expect, but overall I just was not impressed with this game at all. Now here we have Twisted Metal Head On, released by SCEA in 2005, and even though they took like a totally different animation approach to this game, it looks very, kind of cell shaded and kind of gives me a Simpsons hit and run kind of vibe. I mean, the game is still super fun. It has everything you would expect from a Twisted Metal game, anything that you would have seen previously in the franchise, and it's just super fun to play. I really love the Twisted Metal franchise, and this game did not disappoint. Up next is Untold Legends, Brotherhood of the Blade, released by Sony Online Entertainment in 2005. Now, this game gave me super like Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance / Diablo kind of vibes. It's, as you can see, a top-down kind of / isometric view game, and you're going through, you have all the mythic kind of stuff. As you can see, I'm fighting some spiders right here, and overall, it's just a really fun RPG to play, and it was really cool to see this kind of a game and the scale of this kind of a game on the PSP. I really enjoyed playing it. And up next, we have Untold Legends, The Warrior's Code by Sony Online Entertainment in 2006. And this one is just more of the same. You get an awesome RPG adventure. You go through, you're fighting all the baddies, going through the storyline, and just having a blast. I mean, it essentially is the same game, just a slightly different story. It's a lot of the same gameplay mechanics and everything that you would expect from this style of gaming, but I still enjoyed it. I always love games like this. Warriors of the Lost Empire was released by UFO Interactive Games in 2007, and much like the last two games in this video, it's totally the same vein. It's very heavy RPG, heavy story driven, and it's a lot of fun, but this one is more in the visual style of a Neverwinter Nights kind of game. So they really tried to push heavy on the 3D action in here. As you can see, the menus aren't really anything crazy, but overall the gameplay aspects, and as you can see, like the 3D character models, stuff like that, they really went 3D with it, and I really appreciated seeing something like this on the console. I really enjoyed playing this game. Now up next we have Wipeout Pulse, released by SCEA in 2008, and if you've ever played a Wipeout game, they all play pretty much the same. It's, high speed, high tempo, high music action, and with this game in particular, I didn't really care for the controls. I thought they were a little heavy, a little bit kind of like moon gravity icy. As you can see, I kind of slam into the walls a lot. I promise I am not this bad at racing games, but overall, I mean, it was okay. It's really bright, in your face, lots of effects and different things going on, so it was kind of fun to have that really fast-paced action. And the last game for this collection series is Wipeout Pure, released by SCEA in 2005. And this game is a lot like the other one. It actually came a year before, but I feel like even though it is still fast-paced, kind of intense in-your-face action, this game is significantly easier to control. And I do like the environment changes. As you can see, this level started out above ground, over an ocean and everything, and now you get to drive underneath the ocean, see all the caves, everything that's going on, and you still get to have a ton of fun with a Wipeout game. So there you have it, everyone. That is everything that is in my current PSP collection. Now, this is a super awesome handheld to collect for. There's such a wide variety of different games to play, different genres, and you can even get movies on the thing. I mean, it's just such a cool handheld, being able to play just these tiny little UMDs, those mini discs, and it's a really fun console to collect for because of all the different colors, the different styles, variations that it has. Now, did you notice anything in my collection that might be missing? Something that I should pick up to add to the collection? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, please also be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell so you get an alert every time I got a new video coming out. Now, as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.